hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
All right, what is going on, Entertainment? So Sam comes out with another video. So in this video, Andrea, you guys recently spoke about her fallout with Joseline and how she feels about the Zeus network. This live was very interesting. She talks about the fact that her issue is directly with Joseline and not anything to do with Zeus, and says that she just has a problem with how the reunion was edited. As we all saw at the reunion, Joseline talked about Andrea not having custody of her children as well. Would y'all be down to hear from Andrea on here? It was supposed to happen in the past, you guys, but I wanted her to sing live. That was not something that could be granted. So I ended up saying no. No shade, because I know that's what the entertainers would want. But after seeing this live, I'm kind of interested to see what she would have to say. Anyways, let me know what y'all think down below, and we're up, babies.
I also have a misdemeanor right now that I'm battling. That's what's going on. You know, like I said prior, me and that lady started to fall off. I would say 2024 November. With that being said, in November, I did a pole master competition, and after that, she started acting differently towards me. I would say a couple months later, November, December, January, February, 4 months later, things began to get physical altercations. A few months after that is, you know, we started to go back into filming. She kicked that girl, expected me to jump on her in front of all those kids, and I wasn't gonna do that. I personally was at a point where I was sick of my character being put in positions where I had to do things that I was against morally. I feel like you guys met me in a time where I was transitioning from, you know, trying to leave the strip club and do something different in entertainment as far as, you know, performing. I would also say that this last season, all the crying, all the fighting was definitely to try to, you know, mend some of those things. But, you know, sometimes God has different plans for us. Because of everything that has transpired, specifically because of reunion, it created a lot of turmoil in my personal life outside of, you know, filming. I feel like I'm trying to be the change that I want to see. I don't like the fact that, you know, my personal life was dragged into TV. Yes, I am, you know, in public. And I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, well, you signed up for it. That's what you signed up for. But I still think that's like, it's really weird, because it's like, does that take away from my humanity? Does that take away from my humanity? Does that mean because I'm in the public eye, I deserve less humanity? It's common decency. It's basic respect. And, you know, I've done a lot of growth. I had a lot of growth in these last couple months as far as just maturity and, you know, seeing things for what they are. And, you know, with that being said, that lady spoke on something that was very personal to me. I was still in the middle of a divorce. And it created a lot of turmoil as far as just bringing more heat to the situation. Just speaking like that about me, especially when she went through the same things that I went through as far as losing custody of her daughter. I want to make it very clear, I never lost custody of my daughter. Never lost custody of my daughter, still have custody of my daughter. Me and my ex are starting to get to a point where we're having, you know, conversations about mediation and stuff like that. So it's crazy. Like I said, let's go back. So I spoke out not too long ago. I had said some things, but shortly after I spoke out, some other people had said some things, right? Specifically Gorgeous Doll. What she has said was very accurate for the things that I was experiencing. I feel like because I was too close to the situation, I couldn't really articulate myself in the way that I feel like I would have been able to had I been, you know, a little bit farther away from the situation. When Gorgeous Doll followed me on Instagram, it was like, okay, T, like, because I had already seen them hanging out. So I'm like, okay, so is this like some drama? Like they trying to stir up some drama, you know? But no, because shortly after that, she had spoke out about the things that she experienced working with that lady. And then shortly after that, you know, Ray J spoke out. I feel like between Ray J and Gorgeous Doll, they had the most accurate things to say. Most accurate things to say. And I hate that it took a man getting his balls licked on to actually say those things, but you know, somebody had to say it. Somebody had to say those things. As far as my relationship with, you know, the people at the network, Ashley, China, LJ, you know, Lemuel, I have no issues with them. I was pretty hurt about the way that everything happened at Reunion, how they aired the things that they aired, because they do so much editing with certain things. But that specifically was very distasteful, extremely distasteful. And I had resentment for that. But outside of that, we've always had good relationship. We've always, you know, worked together in a copacetic environment. Like outside of filming, I don't know those people. So it's like outside of work, there is no relationship outside of them. And yeah, just trying to move to a point where, you know, I see the difference now. I see the difference between the things that lady was telling me and the things that, you know, the network spoke out about. When the network finally spoke out, I definitely seen the line in the sand of like her behavior and what the network was, you know, allowing. It finally got to a point where I feel like collectively we all said is enough, and we all decided to move accordingly. I personally have moved down the road of making music and, you know, trying to be more independent in that aspect. I have a project. My project's about to drop soon. I'm still waiting on a release date. But outside of that, I just really wanted to come and clear the air because it was never my intention to tear the network down or speak negatively. I believe that there was a direct correlation between the relationship she has with the network and the way that I was being treated. I see now that there is a disconnect, and I want to apologize for the things that I said because I feel like I have the maturity to be able to speak out and say when I'm wrong about some things. But I feel like, you know, when I first came into this space, I mean, if you guys go look at my diary in my bio, you guys can see that the confusion. You can see the confusion. I was getting weird texts from people. I was getting like really weird, like cease and desist with little to no. It was just very weird during that time. So I just want to come out and apologize because I was loud and I was wrong, and I see the correlation now between the whole situation as a whole. I feel like I've grown a lot. I feel like maturity wise, I've shown a lot of individuality. I've shown that I have my own voice. I have my own way of thinking, and the person that I am and the person that I was in survival are two different things. I'm just excited to move forward in a way that is honoring both myself, my morals, my character, and the things that I want to do in life. As far as those things go, yeah, I said the things that I said because in my mind, from seeing those text messages, which are in my diary, you could see them in my diary. I mean, if you were getting those messages and you were getting weird cease and desist, you would think weird things too. You would think things that were like off. Okay, so with that being said, like I said before, I see the difference now. I see the relationship between that lady and the network are completely separate. They are not together. And the way that she feels about me is not a reflection of how the network feels about me. The things that lady used to say to me in private was very disgusting, very threatening, and completely out of line. Completely out of line. Thank you. I appreciate those of y'all who are in here and y'all see the growth and y'all are giving me the space to at least like speak my truth and speak in a way that, you know, is honoring who I am as a person. And yeah, that's basically it. I really didn't really have, yeah, healing is amazing. I feel like, right, like you can tell, like there's only so much that you could really edit out. You could see that I was obviously going through something. Like what I was going through last year was directly because of that lady. That had nothing to do with the network, and I want to make that very clear today, like very clear. Yes, no matter how they edited, all the camera time was off and whack, and I knew what you were going through. Like the whole thing, like it's so funny because like there will be times where y'all will be like, why is Andrea acting this way? Like, if y'all seen the text messages that I was getting at that point, like, yeah, the crash outs were getting more concerning. And I'm saying that because, I'm saying it now because my contracts are up. My contract ended on the 9th. I was traveling. I wanted to come and talk about this sooner, but I was traveling. I had a lot going on. Now I'm at a point where I'm back at home, in my own space, and yeah, right, like that lady never had any intentions of letting me be more than just a background dancer for her. It, like, outside of being a background dancer, there was no intention of me being more for her. And regrets, I did everything I needed to do to survive, so I don't really have regrets. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I try to keep it in that mindset because, you know, I don't want to go to sleep wishing I would have did things differently. I feel like what I can say is I wish that I would have spoken to, you know, other people at the network about the things that I was going through instead of being silent, because the network didn't even know what I was going through. And that's what, and that's the disconnect. Like, I believe that the network and Joseline were together. I merged them together. They are two completely different entities. How she felt about me and the way that she was treating me is not a reflection of the network. And I see that. I see the disconnect now. I see the, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to come on here and publicly apologize because I believe that it was together, and my disdain is towards that lady and not towards the network. I want to make sure that that is very much separated. So I just wanted to make sure that I was very adamant about what I was saying, as far as you can go and look in my diary. I already posted it. You could see all the receipts of where I was, of the things that I was receiving. You guys can go look at it. I posted it. It's in my diary. So you guys can watch that. You guys can see that. Y'all are asking about the music. The music is coming. Yeah. As far as me working with that lady, when I moved away, you guys gotta understand. This all happened. Y'all watch this all unfold. I have no intention of working with that lady ever again, at all. No, I want nothing to do with that lady. That lady needs to come out and publicly apologize to me for the things that she's done to me, for me to even, I wouldn't even if she did that, I don't even think that there would be a relationship there. Yes, I did love that lady. I appreciate that lady. But at the end of the day, what that lady was doing was wrong. And I just literally told you guys where it changed. I literally just told y'all in November of 2024, that relationship changed. That relationship changed. And with that being said, I don't know if you guys remember, but I went and performed for Pole Master. And I feel like after that, the whole dynamic of it changed. Exactly. not only hurt me and tried to publicly embarrass me, like it was completely unwarranted. Like it would be different if like I had actively provoked her, but I did not do anything for her to have done the things that she had did to me. The ladies that have moved over, not from the Cabaret, but a lot of the girls on the other show, I'm cool with them. I have relationships with them. As far as the ladies in the Cabaret, I talk to a couple of them still. As far as, you know, my relationship with Danny, me and her are cool. There's no animosity between us. Where she stands with that lady, though, is where I feel like we disconnected. Like, I can't do that. I can't live in that. Because I did not do anything to warrant what she was doing to me. I worked. I showed up. I took on extra work. I showed up when she needed people to show up. And yeah, that lady spoke on my family and my circumstances, and there was no reason for that when she herself has gone through the things that I'm going through now. Yeah, but she's glowing now, though. She's glowing now. And I appreciate y'all for being here, and I really appreciate y'all giving me the space to correct myself. I feel like that's one thing I'm very grateful for you guys for. You guys have given me the room and the space to correct myself when I'm wrong, because I am a person. I don't make the right decisions all the time. You know, we perceive things and we think we know things. I want to make it also clear. I get very paranoid, like extremely paranoid, like without weed. Like, I want to make that very, very clear. I get extremely paranoid, and like, I could be gullible. I could be a little gullible. I could believe things that aren't, like, that we all know aren't true. Like, and that's just me. Like, but I'm growing out of that. He said a little, yeah, a little. But that, I feel like that's just like, I'm realizing that I have to deal with those things, and a lot of those things are directly from my childhood. Like, I grew up in a military family. If you grew up in a military family, it's like dealing with actual narcs, like actual narcs, okay? So I grew up in a military family where your value is directly correlated to what you can give and what you can provide. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, at least I realized, and that's growth, and that's actually stuff that I talk about in the music. In this EP, I talk about, you know, that growth and like how I began to realize those things, and just taking more responsibility for not people pleasing and giving myself space in the room to exist without having to provide or give something or be performative. Like, I'm moving in my own direction, in my own light, and I'm just grateful that, you know, you guys have given me the space to correct myself.